Hello, my fellow ink drinkers. I stuffed my Kindle with freebies last night. Stick around to see what I got. Hello everyone, and thanks for joining me here on Dark Violet Dreams. For those of you who are new, I'm Em, and I love dark fiction. So yesterday, as of this recording, yesterday, Thursday, was Stuff Your Kindle Day. And I normally don't find much in the genres that I enjoy on Stuff Your Kindle Day, but yesterday I hit the mother load. I think I added 15 books to my Kindle, and I'm really looking forward to the October 31st horror version of Stuff Your Kindle Day. I'll put info up here and I'll link everything below so you can check it out and mark your calendars, because you're gonna want to join in if you have a Kindle and you love horror. So everything that I got was either horror or thriller or in that vein. So I am going to read the descriptions of each of the books. I noticed that some of them are still free. I'm not sure how long Stuff Your Kindle Day is, but some of these authors might continue offering their books for free for a few days. Who knows? They're worth checking out though. For the most part, I chose books that were standalone books or short story collections, short stories themselves, or more of like anthology type things. There were a ton of like first or second books in series that were offered. I did not go for those because I typically don't like starting a series unless I know quite a bit about it. I just didn't want to stuff my Kindle full of one book in a series. You get what I'm saying? So I tried to stick to standalones for the most part. Apologies ahead of time if I mispronounce names or anything like that. I'm not familiar with all of these authors and I haven't done a ton of homework, but I wanted to get this video up. Our eldest is not feeling well. He's been home from work a couple days and my throat's starting to feel a little scratchy. So I wanted to get this up so I didn't go too long without having a video out there. So I could have done more research into each of these wonderful authors, but sometimes you get the fly by the seat of your pants versions of Dark Violet Dreams, and that's what you're getting today. I hope you don't mind. Apologies again if I mispronounce anything or if I get my facts wrong, but I am going to be reading directly from the Amazon pages, so hopefully I get most everything correct. The first book I grabbed was The Devil's Mountain by Jack Harding. So I see a lot about him in the bookish world here on the internet, on YouTube and Bookstagram, but I have yet to read any of his work. So this is through Darklit Press, which I have become very familiar with, and so I thought, yes, definitely want this. This was one of the first books I saw, but the first I downloaded. So let me read the description to you. Deep in Berlin's Grunewald forest, lurking in the silent winter fog, lies a man-made hill forged from the ruins of World War II. On top of the hill stands an old spy station that's been empty since the fall of the Iron Curtain, nearly 30 years ago. Dylan and Nikki are a young, adventurous British couple who have just one more site to check off their abandoned Berlin list before they head home. Journey with them as they explore the darkened halls and corridors of a Cold War mausoleum caught between the past and the present, frozen in time. Journey with them to the Devil's Mountain, a place that will change their lives forever. Up next is Seeing Red, a supernatural thriller by Travis VanHoose. Here we go. Over the course of a single day, the lives of an entire town will forever be changed after a young man commits an unthinkable act of evil. After taking the life of his mother, he ends up holding a small group of people hostage in his home. As he begins to unravel, the lines between reality and fantasy are soon blurred as he reveals his horrifying plan not only for his hostages, but also for the entire town. Up next is Before You Sleep, 3 Horrors by Nevill. So I have not read any of this author's work, but I see high praise for his books. So I am really excited to dive into this, get a little sampling of what he's got to offer. A trilogy of horror stories from the award-winning writer's first collection of short stories, Some Will Not Sleep, and an introduction to the nightmarish visions and ghastly specters that have been disturbing the sleep of readers for years. In this book, you'll find 2 ghost stories and a tale of ancestral demonic horror. In the big white house on the hill, angels are said to appear. When the children left the house, their toys remained. A confused and vengeful presence occupies the home of a first-time buyer. Next is Welcome to Heaven's Peak by Miguel Estrada. This is a horror novel that is 295 pages. The beautiful resort town of Heaven's Peak is home to gorgeous landscapes and terrifying secrets. After the tragic death of his mother, teenage photographer Kevin Miller moves to a new town with his alcoholic father and 8-year-old sister in the hope of bringing the family together and starting over. However, everything changes when Kevin witnesses his sister being kidnapped by a bizarre creature. The police are skeptical of his story, so he decides to unveil the mysteries surrounding the town on his own. On the other side of the investigation, FBI agent Norman James will do anything to solve the baffling case, except believe a traumatized teenager's nonsense. Meanwhile, newscasts predict a blizzard approaching in the next couple of days as people in the town begin to behave strangely. Will Kevin and Norman find Kevin's little sister before Heaven's Peak is consumed by darkness? Heaven's Peak is the first full-length horror thriller novel from author Miguel Estrada. If you like suspense, mystery, and dread, prepare for a ride you won't forget. The next 4 books came as a bundle from the Scare Street Horror short stories. There are 4 books, like I said, and I will probably read the first description and you can kind of get an idea. So the first book in the series is Ghost Stories, Scary Ghosts and Paranormal Horror Short Stories Anthology. The second book is Polly's Haven, Scary Horror Short Story. The third book is This Is Gonna Hurt, another scary horror short story. And the fourth is Horror Stories, Scary Ghosts, Paranormal and Supernatural Horror Short Stories Anthology. So I'm going to read the last one to you because that's the one that kind of highlights more authors from what I've seen. I was just skimming here, but obviously do your research if you'd like. And they all just sounded exciting, and hey, 4 books for the low price of free, you know what I'm saying? So can't complain much. Even if they aren't new favorites, at least they are worth trying, right? So this is from Horror Stories Scare Street. This is book 4. A young woman's nighttime escapade goes eerily wrong. A man is forced to relive the horrible accident that tore his family apart over and over again. An underground thrill through ancient catacombs proves disastrously horrific. A young boy is haunted by the scarecrow in the fields behind his home, and a woman is revisited by the ghost of a psychotic killer in the most dreadful of ways. Scare Street brings you some of the best short horror stories by authors Ron Ripley, David Longhorn, Eric Whittle, Sarah Clancy, and A.I. Nasser, all in one book. I hope I said all those names right, I'm sorry. Together, these stories promise more than just a shiver down the spine and a fear of the dark, but the soft caress of terror that comes with the unknown and unexpected. Join us through the pages of the best of what Scare Street has to offer, and be sure to bring a nightlight along with you. You definitely don't want to be left alone in the dark. I am super excited for this one. I will dive more into the others for my own personal curiosity, but definitely check out Scare Street Horror on Amazon if you want to know a little bit more about these books. Next is Swarm by James Flynn. The town of Dracton is crumbling with crime and violence perpetuating around the clock. Prisons are at bursting point and morale is at an all-time low. The government's answer is Swarm, a revolutionary new prison. Swarm is a correctional facility like no other, harnessing the power of the inmates' subconscious minds for the benefit of the town. The facility is a work of genius, and the town soon begins to prosper. But how long will the prosperity last? When cutting-edge technology merges with humankind's ancient biological roots, what kind of monster will emerge? Drawing ideas from deep psychology and neuroscience, James Flynn has created a dystopian apocalyptic novella that pushes the boundaries of science fiction. Swarm is essential reading for any serious sci-fi enthusiast. Are you ready to join the swarm? So yes, sci-fi, but it sounded pretty like creepy and horrific as well, so I'll count that as, horror sci-fi. We'll see what I think when I'm done reading it. Up next is The House Next Door by Tom Coleman. I really loved this cover, so that's what initially drew me in to this. And here we go. This is what The House Next Door is about. From Horrors Next Door collection of short, mysterious, psychological, suspenseful, and horror stories that will arouse your senses and puzzle your mind. Some of the stories are inspired by true events. Ooh. Find out which ones inside the scary collection. The House Next Door. Mr. Spaulding looks like an ordinary old grumpy neighbor with a penchant for growing roses, but he has a dark secret hidden deep inside of his house, a secret no one knows about. Sarah decides to find out if he's just a sweet, lonely widower or a twisted man with a mysterious past. What she encounters at his house is beyond her wildest dreams, but this is a nightmare which she cannot wake up from. Okie dokie dokie. This next book's title is what caught my attention. It's brilliant. I love it. Chaotic Yesterdays of Impeccable Greed. This is by Seth Kinstle. I hope that's how you say his name. People get a little greedier every day. They go crazy and things happen that shouldn't. Everyone loses their mind over the simplest of luxuries. So who am I to dwindle in the darkness as if I don't owe the world a little disgust? I was never normal, but nothing is ever about me. It's about the money. It's about the thrill that pulses through your veins when you're about to show everyone your worth. You might lose your mind, but it's just part of the game. The city doesn't care who you are. It swallows all in its wake. Your memories will be taken under as you examine the treacherous path of a bloody mess you left behind. Everyone is the same. It's why we try so hard to be different. So pull up a stepping stool as we disappear into the formerly unreachable cabinet in your kitchen to take a peek at your red-soaked cache. It's time to face your chaotic yesterdays of impeccable greed. Now here is where a series actually got me, because this cover was too good to pass up. There are so many amazing covers. But I was like, I'm going to give this one a go. Even though it's a series, there's 11 in this. But it's a flash fiction anthology. So I figured, it's not like I'm going to be chomping at the bit to know what happens next since it's flash fiction. You know what I'm saying? So, I made exceptions to my rules for covers and, little details like that. This is called Shallow Waters of Volume 1, a flash fiction anthology, a series of supernatural stories. This is by Crystal Lake Publishing, so you know it's gonna be good, I hope. Ooh. Buckle down, the description is long. In the murky depths of shallow waters, the concealed rises, ensuring no secret remains interred. Journey through a labyrinth of 22 chilling tales that delve profoundly into the complexities of loss, love, and the very fabric of existence. Shallow Waters is not merely an anthology, but an electrifying writing contest orchestrated by the renowned Crystal Lake Entertainment. Each month, writers from every corner of the globe confront a fresh, haunting theme, pouring their darkest imaginations into narratives and submitting their masterpieces. Only the most spine-tingling tales find their way to Crystal Lake's Patreon page, where an eager audience voraciously consumes and crowns a victor. Within these pages, you'll encounter the pinnacle of these contests, the tales that left an indelible mark on readers. This anthology isn't merely a collection of stories, it's an experience, a voyage into the shadowed corners of the human soul. Crystal Lake Publishing invites you to submerge yourself in these tales. Are you ready to take the plunge? Next is The Portrait. A vision from the past becomes a writer's deadly obsession by Evelyn Chartres. The Portrait is a gothic fantasy about Victoria Frost, an author who develops an unhealthy obsession for her character. As events unfold, her infatuation sours, forcing Victoria to question her sanity. Is she simply slipping into madness, or is something else at play? The Portrait features a mixture of contemporary and historical scenes brought forward as Victoria explores the world of her muse. Using both prose and art, every scene yields a new piece of the puzzle, providing insights on the origins of her character's portrait and its featured model. Discover how a vision from the past becomes a writer's deadly obsession. Next is Cry of Crows by CSC Shows. They couldn't escape the dead noise. After her father's death, Annabeth flees from her old life in Memphis to reinvent herself and heal at Chesterbrook College, a sprawling private institution nestled in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. A dead body is unearthed on move-in day, and Annabeth and her roommate discover a century-long pattern of campus disappearances. When crows settle on the roof of her dormitory, Annabeth is sure they're trying to tell her something. On this sultry southern campus, appearances are never as they seem. Can Annabeth save her friends, or will the malevolent creature circling the campus for nearly 2 centuries consume them all? This is 439 pages. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting to mention how long these books are, but if they're collections, that's slightly different. So I've probably remedied this by putting the page numbers with the books that I forgot to mention, page numbers for. Last but not least is 9 by Night by Michael Hamm. This one I'm a little bit scared for, in a good way. It says that this is newly edited and reformatted for a wider variety of tablets. This has nothing to do with all the bad reviews about my editing. Whistles. Okay, so here we go. This is what this book is about. 1783, Providence, Maryland. 2 priests are called to a darkened farmhouse to perform an emergency exorcism on an 8-year-old boy. Arriving, they find that hell itself has been unleashed inside the cursed homestead. Facing darkness too terrible to imagine, the priests confront a true demon and unleash an ancient prophecy. 9 by night they will fall, and all of God's children with them. Years later, Chase Hammersfield, the son of America's premier weaponsmith, starts off on a fated journey to locate his true parentage, unwittingly discovering a heritage so horrific, so damning, that his sanity will be called into question. But that's only the beginning. Every step he takes to reconcile his past seems to have been predestined, fated even, and if he isn't careful, he may be responsible for unleashing Armageddon into the world of men. Demonic stuff usually scares me, but this sounds really good, and that cover definitely drew me in. So that is it. That is everything that I stuffed into my Kindle last night. I'm super excited about it. Can't wait to add more in October. October 31st, the perfect day to add a bunch of horror to your Kindle, don't you think? So if you have not checked out any of these authors, collections, books, etc., definitely do so. And I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you are reading good books. I hope that you are enjoying your fall so far. Happy fall, by the way. This goes up on the first day of fall. Super excited for autumn, the fall season. Super excited for the cozy, cool weather outside. Ooh, the leaves are turning colors already. I am super excited about it. Love this time of year. It's my favorite time of year. All the Burr months. Yes, I'm the classic, yes, me, choose me. I love the Burr months. If you are a fan of fall and the Burr months, please hit that thumbs up. Let me know you've been here. Comment down below. I'd love to hear what you're reading. I'd love to hear if you are interested in any of these amazing books. Now, do not fret. If you have Kindle Unlimited and these books are no longer free to buy, many of these are on Kindle Unlimited, so you can still check them out without having to fork over any cash. Love Kindle Unlimited. I love that there are freebies now and then. It's a lot of fun. Thanks so much for stopping by. I appreciate that you took the time to listen to me rave about books once again. I hope you guys are having an amazing day or night. Until next time, cheers.